Welcome to Behind the Scenes, the show that informs you on what's happening in our motion picture, television, and digital media industries. Founded in 1963, William F. White is Canada's oldest and largest distributor of professional production equipment. We stopped by their Calgary location to speak with Greg Jeffs and learn more about the latest production technology.
Independent production has stepped up a lot here in Alberta, and we've noticed the trend, people trending towards smaller cameras, DSLRs, RED, more digital, less film based. And so William F. White's incorporated this new model called White's Interactive, which gets gear to these independent filmmakers at a low cost, because despite the size of the camera you're shooting on, you still need lighting, you still need grip. All the equipment is still the same, it's just more accessible. And we want to make sure that the crews, the young independent filmmakers, the experienced crews all have access to the same gear. The key thing is production value, and this is where William F. White's strength lies, is that we provide the tools to get that production value. You may have the greatest camera in the world, but if you're shooting on the high-end, best digital camera and you're using lighting from a local hardware store, your image quality is going to suffer. And in the end, it's the end piece that matters. So we're providing people with the equipment to up the production values of their property, which could lead to a sale in many, many markets. This is the Viral Van, which is part of the new White's Interactive initiative, and it is lighting, grip, transport, and power all in one roof. You're able to plug in your battery chargers, your edit suite, and it acts as a mobile production office, production suite, everything. It's been great. In Alberta, we've been well ahead of other offices in terms of getting it out there. You know, there's a lot of corporate production that can benefit from it. There's a lot of independent short films that can benefit from it. We have great funding agencies in the AFA that award filmmakers with grants to make film projects, and this is the type of equipment that they should be able to access. And we made a hard push to get it in here last year, and it's been working ever since.
Now let's take a walk over to Panavision and learn a little bit more about cameras.
Panavision still maintains a lot of film-based work because Panavision's always sort of worked on larger budget feature film stuff, which is still quite often being shot with film, more or less worldwide. In North America, you're seeing a lot more of a digital sort of format going. So what we have is, behind me, there's a Genesis behind me, which was the first camera that came out with Panavision, and it was used exclusively on a lot of feature films. So, I mean, Panavision has always sort of been keeping pace with everything there. We are still constantly working on new development, newer cameras coming out and all kinds of things like that. So with the TV series, TV movie base moving more and more towards the digital world, we're trying to keep up with all of that as well. So essentially, we are using cameras built by other companies in some format, but we're also developing our own cameras as well at the same time. The first main difference is obviously that you're not shooting on film, so the processing section of it is completely different. There's no, film development, waiting for the shot to be processed on film and then come back the next day for dailies to see if it actually worked or not. It's instantaneous now that they actually, you shoot it and it's right there, you can see it right away. So that's one of the biggest major things that happens, because you can tell right on set whether or not you have to redo something. You don't have to wait for another day and go back to another location, you can do it right there and then. More and more cameras are coming out to work with 35mm lenses, because the original film cameras, the depth of field situation has always been a bit of a bone of contention between film and digital. Digital seems a lot clearer and a lot more depth of field, meaning that you see a lot of image that's sharper throughout the image, whereas in most film-based stuff, you can focus yourself strictly on one sort of subject a lot of the time, keep the depth of field down to a minimum, so that essentially you only have a very short area of focus. With digital, that really wasn't there when it first came out. It's still kind of not that as good as film, but they keep constantly moving towards that.
You can learn more about William F. White by visiting their website. All right, Calgary's own Nomadic Pictures teamed up with the Lifetime Network to produce Merry In-Laws. The made-for-TV movie was shot at multiple locations around the city, including the new Science Center. And that's where we caught up with Leslie Hope on the final day of filming.
Well, I'm really pleased to be in Calgary directing Merry In-Laws, starring Shelley Long and George Wendt, and the Canadians Lucas Bryant and brand new Calgary girl Kasia Warshawski. I'm here for 3 weeks shooting at the Science Center and at a place in Scarborough. And it's basically the story of a young couple get married, the in-laws are coming to visit, and the in-laws are Santa Claus and Mrs., and that's George and Shelley.
After several months of acting in Hawaii for ABC and CTV Network's The River, Leslie was pleased to be back directing here in Calgary.
I think this is my 5th job here in Calgary. I've been here several times as an actor. I did a show here called The Incredible Mrs. Ritchie, also produced by Nomadic. I work with Jason Priestley on a show for Nomadic as well as an actor, and it's my 2nd time directing here. I was here a couple years ago on a show called Very Merry Daughter of the Bride, another Christmas movie, also with Lucas Bryant, my Canadian homeboy. And I'm back this time, a little more experienced, I hope, but with a familiar crew, so I'm really happy to be here. You have people that still want to make a movie, no matter what the size, and for somebody like me, that's really important. I'm a newer director. This is my 4th project as a director, and I really need the support of A-team players like you have here in Calgary. You have big and little shows here all the time, so even on the smaller shows, you get the A-team boys. It's one of the advantages for someone like me to be here. It's definitely cowboy country, I've learned. I'm borrowing somebody's gloves. It's a lot of Carhartt around, which the guys are lending me. I just said to Phil, I'm going to get some of those Wranglers. But that being said, it's a really small, close community, which is an advantage for somebody like me. The experience becomes more personalized. People aren't sort of jaded and fed up, and even though they've done big shows like Brokeback, and work with guys like Clint Eastwood, there's still the same kind of dedication doing a smaller show like this, which is under $1 million.
You can catch Merry In-Laws on the CTV networks when it broadcasts. You guessed it, sometime in December. In the meantime, that's it for this episode of Behind the Scenes. Thanks for watching.
Behind the Scenes is a collaboration between Calgary Economic Development, industry, government, and community stakeholders.